Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. We're now mid-August, about August 20th, and since our last video, we've had a new group of flowers come out. First of all, Sandra wants, I'm lucky enough to have Sandra with me again today, and describe what we're seeing right now, Sandra.
This is a David Austin rose called Radio Times. And I think it's just gorgeous, and it has such a perfume that it will perfume the whole road. People stop and talk about, the perfume. And it's on its second bloom, and it is huge. It's trying to be a climber, and so we're tying it up. But
look in the background. I didn't think we were going to see this, but I just spotted this right here, Sandra.
This is a calla lily.
There's a calla lily.
And it has a variegated leaf, which is, sort of unusual. And it's pure white.
You want to run to that orchid?
Sure.
Make a quick tour to the right. And this plant, Sandra?
These are bulbs that we put in, and they are a bulb that you have to lift, and it's called Acidanthera or Peacock Orchid, and they bloom at this time of the year, which is nice because other things are sort of finishing, and they're not expensive. You get 25 bulbs for about $10. And so if you didn't like to lift bulbs, you could actually just let them become compost in the garden. And next to this we have Platycodon, which is known as balloon flower. And the reason it's called that is that it starts off as a little kind of balloon looking thing, and then it opens up to being like that. And the reason it's not dead so much is the bees love it so much that I can't get out here until the bees have stopped flying.
A little surprise here.
We have another calla lily in here, and so you can see that these will grow where you have a few hours of sun.
Okay, we're back. These are flowers that we haven't seen. They're new to the garden just this week. What are these, Sandra?
These are glads, the common glad that you see, everywhere. But these particular ones were put in the ground in the fall of, the spring of 2007. And then we had a terribly cold winter. And I didn't have time to lift these particular bulbs. And they came back. And they've come back ever since. And they've multiplied.
And look, here's another.
It's quite a treat to have glads coming back. And if anybody doesn't believe in
and look at this glad.
Warming. These guys are. These are supposed to be lifted, and it's a bulb now that will winter over, which is wonderful.
And here we go, back to the west side of the garden. Oh, and Sandra, what do we have now?
This is a perennial hibiscus, and it comes back every year and gets bigger and bigger. And this particular one I did not plant. So that there was a seed that was in the compost and came up about 10 years ago, and this plant just keeps getting bigger every year. And it already has bloomed for maybe 2 weeks, and you can see all the bloom that's yet to come on this particular one. And again, it's hibiscus, so they last one day. So each day I just take off the old bloom, and the next morning, there are brand new ones there for you.
There you go. And this would be a contrast because these are quite white. And if you just swing down here, we have these red roses that look like tomatoes. And here's another crop of little tomatoes. And that's the only vegetable we grow. We plant about 7 or 8 tomato plants, and they're right now. And this tall plant here, Sandra?
The very tall plant is called Amaryllis, and you can see how tall it goes. It goes even taller. And there used to be a lady from Jamaica who walked by the garden, and she told me that in Jamaica they make a stew out of this plant like they do in New Orleans out of okra.
Terrific. And that'll go 10 feet, that plant.
Mm-hmm.
And right here?
And this is a Turk's cap lily. It's sort of on its last part of its bloom, but they call it Turk's cap because of the way the petals turn back. And it provides an interesting look in the garden.
There you go. This is hibiscus part 2, but on our way to the hibiscus, what do we have here?
This very pink and very fragrant rose is the Paul McCartney Rose, or it's just called the McCartney Rose, and highly fragrant, and this is its second bloom, and it will have another bloom again before the snow flies.
And this yellow one?
And this is Elina, called peau douce, and it is so prolific, and it lasts so long that I'm able to take in bouquets of this. I have about 10 of these bushes in the garden for our Thanksgiving.
And let's go.
And if
Oh,
you
look
care
at
to,
this, yeah.
this particular rose is called Tahitian Sunrise. And I just learned the other day that that's also the name of a cocktail. But at any rate, it looks like what maybe a sunrise would be like in Tahiti.
Okay, let's try that. This is really about hibiscus, so let's go to that star. And I will go first here. And here we go. There it is. Show and tell.
This hibiscus is a perennial hibiscus, which a dear friend gave to me. And it's particularly interesting because it has a sort of a maroon colored leaf. And I think it's gorgeous in terms of how much pink there is in the middle of the flower.
Look at the pink, pink center there.
It's in a shadier area, so it blooms after my other white one. And probably Renan will take pictures. We have a red one around the corner, which is in deep shade, but it's not out yet. So it's yet to come.
In here?
Oh, and these are daylilies. You can buy many daylilies, some that bloom very, very early and before the beginning of July. And then you have another variety that will last and be here at the end of August. So you try to buy all kinds,
all seasons.
So you've got them forever. And over here, if you like, we had a stand of maybe 10 of these. Oh, and look at, and the little glad that remains is just finishing up. But look at the beautiful color of that. And we had about 10 of these standing here, which is quite lovely. And this particular flower here is called Cleome. I first saw it when we were in Niagara Falls one summer, and it just reseeds. So it comes up everywhere in the garden. If you don't like it, you can just pull it out. It's not invasive, but it is quite colorful at the end of the year, and it's in pink and in purple.
And just before we go in, we'll have one final view of Cleome. What else can you tell us about that, Sandra?
This is also known as spider flower, and it is a beautiful, vibrant pink. And again, it comes up at the end of August when other things are finishing. And what do we see there, Renan?
You see, my Sandra is a walking encyclopedia. And here's this Cleome. Oh my goodness. Is that what you noticed? Did you plant that? Is that like a bird or something? What is it?
It does look kind of like bird colors.
Yeah, it's strange. I wonder if he'll speak. Well, anyways, I don't know if he's invasive or anything. It's the first time I've seen this thing in the garden, but I think I'm just going to let it rest and see it will be there tomorrow. Anyways, that's a surprising ending to this little video, isn't it? Over and out. And just before we go, I'm going to take a moment just to describe this beautiful hydrangea. It's called Strawberry-Vanilla. And if you look carefully, I'll try to show you this. The flowers are in the shape of a strawberry, and they come out as this vivid white. And this plant here There's quite a few. And as time moves on, they start changing colors to a strawberry red. And here are a few here that have begun to turn red. And you kind of get the idea of how beautiful this plant is as it changes from white to red. Here's another little shot up here. And this plant is prolific for bees. It attracts all kinds of insects. Right there you should see 3 or 4 working on that one bloom. And there you go, a few more. And it's a busy day at the lake. You can hear the waves. And some boats in the background. And I think we're just going to fade out for today. I hope you enjoyed that tour of these strawberry vanilla flowers. This is a hydrangea. There you go.